It's time for Did You Watch It?
How does this show work? We watch what we like, we talk about what we watched, and maybe you'll like what you hear. I'm Liz.
I'm Isabelle.
Last night we watched episode 17 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 5. The show aired on Tuesday, March 10th, 2015. Here's what we thought. Well, I'm glad that they're still in Amsterdam.
I just wish they could get off all of this and enjoy it for what it is.
I know some of the ladies are trying to, but it keeps coming up, and it's not going to stop.
Because it's the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah,
everybody's basically trying to blow it off like nothing happened. It's like, oh no, something happened, and we need to talk about it.
You can't just brush it under the rug.
Right?
And, I will say I was completely surprised that Rinna Vanderpump went along with Brandi and Kim to do shopping or whatever it was that they were planning to do. And I remember thinking, ooh, this is going to be strange.
Rinna kind of explains why she did it, and I totally get it. If she'd have gone with the other people, they would have wanted to talk about it because Kim and Brandi wouldn't have been there, and she just didn't want to deal with it. So I can sort of see it from that perspective, but it was just this huge, I keep using the term elephant in the room. Is there another term to use? But it's like this huge thing that nobody wants to talk about.
No, because that's exactly what it is, and it's been an elephant in the room, in the car, in the plane, at the fundraiser.
In the hotel.
In the hotel.
Oh my gosh.
It's followed them everywhere.
So true. That was the most awkward shopping trip ever.
I could see where they were just going with the flow and trying to make the best of things because, well, hell, they're in Amsterdam, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know that I would have been that I could have taken such a high road in that sense. I probably would have been, I'm going to go do my own thing.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go do this and
I just
I'll
can't
see you later
fake
dinner.
It. I can't fake it. There's just no way I could have done it. So
I hear you.
And I was really bummed to see Yolanda kind of being sick in the beginning of the episode. She woke up in bed just saying that she was like paralyzed.
And then the stress of everything that's been going on.
Exactly. It was just awful.
How do you deal with this? So, but no, it worked out well. She was able to stay at the hotel and rest up, and the ladies did their own thing. Yeah. So I had to laugh at I think it was Eileen in her little interview when she's like, "What? They're going to go shopping and they're not going to go to a museum?" Or sightseeing or whatever.
I love the fact that they just went. Her and Kyle just went, which was great, and that would be what I would have done too. I love to shop, but I'm in Amsterdam. Hello. I'm
sure they're going to have plenty of time to shop because they're not there for 2 or 3 days. I think they're there for a week, right?
Yeah, I don't
remember
know.
the time frame.
There's always time to shop, and you can fit it in for sure. Kyle's capes are awesome. She's worn like 3 on this trip. Have you noticed?
Right. Yeah.
They're
she
so
has a theme
cool.
going on.
Yeah, I'm loving it. So we get to see a gray one in this trip to the museum, which I thought was awesome.
Yes.
Speaking of fashion.
Although I don't understand. I know this handbag thing and, carrying it on your forearm. But, God, don't you get tired? Or are they just working their biceps the whole time?
No, you know me. I'm a crossbody kind of gal.
Yeah, me too.
Just wear it. I don't want to be holding it. I don't want my shoulder to hurt. Just...
Especially when you're traveling.
Yes. No,
right? You're
thank
sightseeing. You. But, hey, I can understand if you're going to lunch with the ladies, a party, whatever.
Yeah, that's a different thing. But in a foreign country, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what'd you think of those chocolates and the cafe au lait at that cafe they went to?
Delicious.
It made me want to just go. Well, I want to go anyway.
Let's go!
But
well, I love that they went to the Rijksmuseum because some of the, they were looking at all the Dutch masters. And there was that one, it was the really long painting. And they were talking about, I guess, the style of clothes and that whole bit. I was like, I've seen that painting.
Oh, how neat. I love it.
Yes, it is.
In the evening, Yolanda kind of gets everybody together and they go on kind of this canal tour on this boat, which is awesome.
Hors d'oeuvres. They have a dinner later.
Beautiful.
Champagne and they've got a bar basically, so they can get anything they want.
I loved just the whole thing, and I thought, please don't ruin it by saying nasty things and arguing. And guess what?
I really liked Eileen's approach because I know before they did the whole boat ride thing, Eileen and Rinna meet for a drink. Because Eileen's like, I don't understand how everyone can just move forward when there's no apology. Like, it just doesn't make sense. No apology from Kim, nothing. And I know Rinna was like, I think Kim knows it's not okay, and whatever the conversation. And I love that Rinna was like, I'm just in survivor mode. And,
and you can tell that's where she's at, right? Because typically she's not that kind of person that would just let it go. Because the whole point was she was bringing this up because she cared about Kim and wanting to address the situation. She's not the kind of girl that's going to not address something. So the fact that she's in survivor mode.
Yeah. I mean, considering everything that went down, I mean, I feel bad for Rinna, but and I think I mentioned it last week too, that it's one of those things where you just have to make the best of a bad situation to some extent. So maybe putting on that brave face. Although I don't know that I could do it. But if it's just for dinners and a meal here and there, fine.
And it started out being that way, and then they kind of got into it, right? I don't know who started talking about it, but Brandi was talking to Eileen.
Brandi somewhat apologized for being a douchebag.
Somewhat.
And said, I'm sorry. Yeah, somewhat.
But then she brought in the thing about Eileen telling others that she was an alcoholic, and then Kim chimes in and says how it's going to wreck somebody's life, and Eileen was super clear and direct and
Absolutely. She addressed every concern.
Please tell me how I'm saying something that's going to wreck somebody's life. And then, bam, Kim just gets totally aggressive. And it just went from there.
Yeah, I give props to Eileen because she was like, no, I never said you're an alcoholic. I said you're a mean drunk. Yeah. I'm surprised that Brandi's like, no one's ever said that to me before. This is the first time I've heard it. I thought,
come on. That just can't be true.
Yeah, that cannot be true. But she's going to play it off, of course. But I love that Eileen just kind of stuck to her guns. And she didn't raise her voice. She was very calm.
Yeah.
And just stayed matter-of-factly, this is what I said. You seem to construe it another way, but that's not what I said. Yeah. And Eileen stood her ground, but she did so in a firm and assertive way, but
in a ladylike manner. It wasn't like junior high, let's get aggressive with people and, scream and yell and throw things. But, it just kind of went from there, and then everybody got involved, and then the bickering began. And I felt so bad, like Yolanda just got up and left, which I don't blame her, right? No. She spent the day in bed. Yeah. She went through all this trouble to put together this boat cruise.
Oh, no kidding.
And everybody just continues with the bickering. So, one by one, the ladies kind of leave the table and go over to where Yolanda's sitting, and it leaves just Kyle, Brandi, and Kim. And then they get down to the root of what the issue is. Finally, it takes all of this to get them to actually talk. So
it's the same issue, though. That's the thing. We haven't really learned anything new. Yeah.
But finally, it's just the three of them who are the three that need to be talking about it, not everybody else.
True. That's true.
And
very true.
So I think that was hopefully the beginning of just the end as far as just talking it through. I mean, basically, who was it? Was it Kyle? Or no, not Kyle. Somebody just said, Vanderpump said, can't we all just get along? It's so true.
When they all finally met at the dinner table, right?
It's true.
I can understand Yolanda's frustration because she was trying to talk to Kim saying, listen, Eileen's apologizing. Yeah. Just accept it. And she won't. She won't let it go. And then she goes with misinterpreting everything, with this and that and what was said at lunch and what someone said or not.
Yeah. Issue. She can't let it go because she's got a lot of anger and she's got a lot of stuff that she hasn't dealt with. So she can't accept anybody's apology.
And I'm sure this stuff has been going on for a super long time. Years. This is not, years and years and years. So, and not that I was laughing, but first it's Yolanda, then it's Vanderpump. It was just like one by one. Everyone took off and...
Well, and then they all get to the giant table and they're kind of huddled around Yolanda. And then they start talking about it again. But finally they call Brandi and everybody else over. And Brandi comes up with this idea, which was a great idea, right? It was a great idea in theory to go around the table and just say positives about everybody. But in typical Brandi fashion,
which is
immature and not in touch with why she feels what she feels, she says all this physical stuff about people. Like, people are going
it's just
around.
Superficial.
It's totally superficial. Everybody's saying, oh, I love your heart. I love the kind of mother you are. And I feel like you have a giving spirit. And then Brandi goes, I like your hair.
Yeah, or I like your eyes. But I like that everyone was just like, I think, who was it? Kyle was like, you know what? If she's given a compliment, I don't care what it is as long as it's a compliment and it's positive.
Yeah.
Let's just move on. Like, I'll take what I can get at this point.
Yeah.
So,
and then it gets to Kim and Kyle, and they're actually kind of tearful with each other and paying each other compliments.
As always.
Right? It's like, okay, why can't this be the two women that have a conversation about what's going on instead of the ones that are pointing fingers and choking each other and God, whatever else they're doing.
Have either of them talked about having gone to therapy together?
No. I have never heard the T word ever. Out of their mouths.
I can't recall ever considering it or thinking it as a potential option or some sorts.
That's what people do.
Wow. I kind of felt bad for Brandi though, because when everyone was trying to continue playing this game that she started.
Yeah, just trying to say positive things about each other.
Exactly. She runs away.
Yeah.
And won't let anyone say anything. And what was it? I think it was Yolanda who said that it's a shame when you can't hear something nice about yourself because you don't think you're worthy of it.
But that's Brandi. And we know
Brandi,
it.
But that's what made me feel so bad for her because she's got her own issues.
It's really sad. But that is the way it's part of the reason why she is the way she is. She's so raw. You know what I mean? And she'll say the first thing that comes into her head or whatever because she's got that emotional immaturity.
And the emotional baggage, too.
Yeah, it lends itself to, I can't let people say anything kind to me because I just don't believe it about myself, which is really sad. So, again, I'm back to the place where I just want to give her a hug and be her friend.
Man, you need to be a psychologist or a therapist, I swear. Well, so what did you think of this whole incident right before everyone's trying to leave the boat? Where Brandi is trying to be nice and joking, whatever she's trying to do, and trying to kiss Vanderpump. Vanderpump's like, no, let's just go off the boat. Let's just forget this silly little game. And Brandi kind of slaps Vanderpump. Not very hard, mind you, but it was enough to throw her off and say,
No. Hello, you don't slap anyone. No. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you are. I don't care if you're, a parent, a child, what. You don't slap anybody. It's just not appropriate. And she was in that space where she was joking around and she just took it one step too far.
Absolutely.
Because she just acts out. She just, it's like throwing the wine in the face or whatever it is. She just takes it that one step because she doesn't have any level of self-monitoring.
And we've seen every season she's been on the
every show. Every episode. It's not even just every season. It's every episode. There's something.
Well, I guess when I was saying every season, there's just been multiple instances.
Yeah.
In a season. Not just one episode, but over the course of the entire season, something always happens.
Right?
More than once, for sure. So
this slap heard around the world because they're in Amsterdam. Vanderpump of all people, who's the most conservative of them all, gets slapped in the face.
But she's also got a wicked sense of humor, too.
She does,
the fact that she didn't get
physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No,
that's a
certainly
line
not. The fact that she was
cross.
not on, and she's not even on the same board as Brandi's level or sense of humor. It was just.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, no.
So then they're at breakfast. Having those awesome pancakes.
I know. I wanted to have some of those pancakes with. It looked like they had different types of.
They're like crepes with stuff on them.
Yes,
whipped cream and all kinds of yummy goodness.
Apple and strawberries. I'm sure the whole kit and caboodle.
Right. What was priceless was Yolanda's reaction. In the testimonial afterwards, she's in her house obviously, and she's telling the cameraman, "What do you mean you slapped Lisa Vanderpump across the face? Like, what do you mean? Who does that?" Yeah. So,
well, yeah, because Yolanda and Brandi go to their own breakfast.
Yeah.
Kyle and Vanderpump go to their own breakfast, and I think Kyle and Vanderpump went to the best place for breakfast because of those pancakes.
Right?
No, Yolanda telling Brandi, for every step that we take forward, we're always like jumping 2 back or something.
It's so true.
Oh, goodness. It's like, Vanderpump even was just shocked. Like, she's telling Lisa, or she's telling Kyle, listen, I'm not trying to say that she gave me, that it was more than it was.
It wasn't hard.
It wasn't hard, and she's not trying to over-exaggerate.
The whole thing.
And you said the word over-exaggerate, that's not even a word. Dear Lord, I'm getting worked up about this episode.
I know, right?
Because I'm tired of these ladies fighting.
Well, and this carries on to next week, so we won't even hear, like, what happens if Brandi and Vanderpump even talk about it. Talk about an awkward private plane ride home if that's what they're going to do.
No, I think they're going to be commercial, and Lisa will be at the front of business class or first class, and Brandi's going to be at the other end, or maybe even in coach.
Oh, my gosh. So I guess we'll see next week what happens.
Yes, it looks like they're still in Amsterdam at least, but then it looks like Brandi goes on a date with some super young dude.
I don't even think it was a date. I think she was just in the bar with the guy and plants one on him. Anyway, more to watch. Geez.
Yeah, more to watch, and her face looks terrible. Too much Botox.
Right? Yeah.
That's our time for today. You can follow us on Twitter at @didthelletteru watch it. You can also find us at iTunes. Let us know what you think. Thank you for listening.